It's been a few weeks since the Dex Nikana was introduced, along with a complete overhaul of the melee slam mechanic, several hotfixes, Deep Archimedea launching, more hotfixes, tweaks to Deep Archimedea, even more hotfixes. I think it's safe to say that people weren't exactly thrilled by the Dex Nikana and have largely forgotten about its existence, much like most, if not all, the other Dex weapons. But hear me out, this is, or at least can be, a decent weapon. It's actually great if you're a relatively new player who just happens to log in any time this year. You get it for free, and yeah, it can near insta-kill really big baddies. I'll show you how you can turn this sword into something formidable for Steel Path content, like one-shotting acolytes, which I find a little funny. A couple of disclaimers first. The build for the Dex Nikana in this video is expensive. DPS will come, and it will come at a heavy cost here. 5 formas, including an Umbra, an Arcane adapter, Exilis adapter. Yeah, I really had to think this through. Finally decided to just take the multiple hells anyway for this video so that you will never have to. Just a gentle reminder that the merch store and Ko-Fi pages are linked in the description. Also, I will say right here that even though I did manage to turn the Dex Nikana into a powerful stabbing machine, it's still not exactly great for groups of enemies and falters against targets with very high overguard, but then again, most things do. Still, I think this weapon performs admirably. Right, let's take a quick look at the base stats. The Dex Nikana is like a Nikana of any other variant, except that it kinda sucks in comparison. Or perhaps mediocre is more fair, because the slash disposition and crit chance are both good. If you do happen to be looking for a similar feeling weapon, the Nikana Prime is probably the one to go for. It's just kind of out of reach for newbies, which most of you here are not, at least according to the poll I put up a few weeks ago. So what is the Dex Nikana then? What's the shtick? That, my friends, is the unique combo scaling and cap. You see, melee weapons in general have a combo system with a multiplier that increases every 20 hits. That combo multiplier goes all the way up to 12x, so meaning 220 hits to hit the cap. Well, for the Dex Nikana, that multiplier is capped at 11x, a downgrade, but the hits needed per multiplier is reduced to 11 from 20, so you can see how this thing is perhaps tuned for quick combo gain, instead of all-out bigger numbers for bigger, better. That probably didn't make much sense, but you know what does make sense? Just buying Steam games on greenmangaming.com. Even if you buy something at full price with no discounts, you still receive benefits in the form of XP, which is part of their loyalty program. I mean stuff like better deals and even store credit for future purchases. All the keys are also sourced directly from the publishers, meaning no middlemen or shady stuff in the background. Regional pricing with better discounts than even on Steam sometimes. I mean, my friends all bought Helldivers 2 on Greenman Gaming, where it was going for a decent discount at launch, at least for the US region. Also, some of the money spent does go towards ecosystem restoration initiatives, which is pretty cool to see. So the next time you're thinking about buying games, especially with titles like Ghost of Tsushima releasing soon, it's probably worth checking out Greenman Gaming through the links in the description. Even just clicking on them to see what's on their site does help the channel, so please do feel free to whitelist and save those links in the description and get gaming today. Okay, let's try to work with the Dex Nikana's unique combo trait, then against it. That's probably a good idea, right? Well, that was my thought process. Lo and behold, here's the build I decided to settle with. Aha, I see a Riven there, Mr. Melon. Of course your Dex Nikana is powerful, you're cheating. Ah, but you see, the Riven disposition on the Dex Nikana is absolutely awful at 0.5x, which is literally the lowest you could possibly be stuck with until the next round of disposition tweaks, whenever that happens. So the Riven here is more of an enhancement to the Dex Nikana that maybe saves me a slot, if even that. It doesn't transform the weapon into something else entirely. Anyways, as I alluded to before, this build is focused on maxing out combos as quick as possible, with a half-hearted emphasis on slam attacks. Even though D just made changes to the slam and heavy slam mechanic to improve them, I find that it doesn't really work that great on this thing. Maybe I'm just slamming wrong or something. The regular heavy attack though deals enough damage to shut the acolytes up and send them back to I was gonna say the void, but that can't be right, so Anyways, big scary damage. Quickening feels like more than enough attack speed for me, since the Riven also provides some to begin with. Sacrificial Steel actually makes more sense here than Blood Rush. You'd think that with a weapon focused on quick combo gain that Blood Rush would be a no-brainer option, but because of the multiplier cap and the crit chance, Sacrificial Steel and Blood Rush are kinda tied, with the former being flat out better for overall DPS when paired with Sacrificial Pressure. Not to mention, you do retain the critical stat benefits if you were to lose your wombo combos after a heavy attack, which shouldn't be of concern as we're using the Dreamer's Wrath Tennokai mod here. Finally, Killing Blow can be swapped out for whatever it is you prefer. You want more range? Primed Reach. More elemental damage? Perhaps something like Condition Overload or Carnus Mandible for the status immunity you get after heavy attacks, which is pretty neat. Maybe even True Punishment for even faster combo gain, though the Dex Nikana can already get to 11x pretty fast without it, so I don't really think it would make up for the loss of combo duration. Unless, of course, you're running a Neramon, which I do recommend anyway for this setup. Alright, let's start off with the Steel Path Exo Officers at level 200, of course. You can kill them, and kill them pretty quickly if you can either nail a heavy attack at sufficiently high combo, or a ground finisher attack, which should be pretty easy thanks to the stance mod. All you have to do is hit the melee button 3 times, and that will force a knockdown on the 3rd attack, and with the Dex Nikana built the way I have, it can stack those 3 attacks pretty quickly. A Demolisher or enemies with high overguard will be a bit tricky, so maybe consider pairing the Dex Nikana with a primary or secondary weapon for overguard removal. I mean, you can still kill high level Thraxes, for example, but it might take too long in high intensity scenarios. Speaking of high intensity, I don't know if they changed something with the Entrati Lab survival spawn rate since last time, but it was very, noticeable this time around. Anyways, playing through a few rounds of said missions felt like a worst case scenario test for the Dex Nikana and its ability to deal with large groups of enemies. I'd say it did alright. I mean, you can judge for yourself if you can make sense of what's on screen. A lot of the times it was just lights and particles chaos. Paired with a chroma at I think it was about 320 to 350% power strength, I did manage to nail a single heavy strike once, dealing 6.5 million slash damage. Whatever it is that got hit is probably still bleeding blood or oil in the 3rd afterlife or something. I mean, wherever it is, the acolytes go, I suppose, because they too get cut down with a single heavy attack. Okay, not the most impressive thing in Warframe, I suppose, but still, not bad for a free anniversary weapon. So yeah, the Dex Nikana. Probably not as terrible as people might make it out to be, but then again I did spend resources probably equal in value to Darvo's entire stock of deals for the next couple of years. Yeah, it's a decent weapon for beginners, can be great if you got resources and nothing to do but churn out videos and hope you make enough to buy a cookie by the end of the month. Otherwise, Nikana Prime. Right, I'd super appreciate it if you left a comment and maybe check out the Discord, Patreon, and game deals. Links to everything are in the description, or feel free to click on one of the other videos here to watch more.